Hey, welcome to Filament Live. In this video, this segment, it's really just a video going over the Ultimaker S5, our new toy here at Filament. We've been printing with it for about 3 weeks. We've had it for 3 weeks. We haven't been printing that amount of time.
It's been running straight for 3 weeks, but we printed a bunch of things.
And yeah, we're gonna go over it. You know, I think the biggest thing for me is that this whole printer is a complete solution from the slicer all the way to the printer, right? I mean, Ultimaker makes the slicing software for this printer and all of their printers. And
which we've been using for a long time, a very long time. Basically since, not quite.
Actually, yeah, I haven't used
Pretty
any
close
other
to
slicer.
Well, no, we used,
The slicer?
no, it's, Matter something?
Oh, the Matter Hackers?
Yeah, one of those other ones. We started with that, but once we switched to Kira, we never used anything else.
Never went back.
Yeah, they are very good.
Yeah. But that was my, that's like the biggest take so far. I mean, this printer it's definitely larger than Ultimaker's other machines, and it's larger than the other printers we have. But it's nothing, yeah, it's nothing really special in the sense of like super innovation. It's just really
it's
well
the delivery, yeah.
Yeah. So that was my like takeaway. I'm gonna run through the quick bullet points of the S5. We got dual heads, so either two materials or a support material, which we'll dive into. Heated bed, aluminum or glass. So we haven't got the aluminum plate yet, but we've gotten the glass plate. That's what we've been using to print. Pretty big build volume. We got 13 inches by 9.4 by 11.8. I'm not sure what its length, width, height. Something like that. Open filament, so the Ultimaker does have a reader on the filament spools, but they don't lock it down and you can use any filament. Currently we're testing an ABS we made yesterday with our Filament systems, and that's super important when you're looking at 3D printers, is to make sure you have a printer that has open filament, otherwise you're stuck into the manufacturer's filament. And it's not that the manufacturer has bad filament.
No, and sometimes that might be fine. Like, if you need to print with Ultem, you might get a system that's designed for it, that they make their own filament for it. They may have their own blends of plastic, but generally we like to use open source, obviously, because we like to make our own filament.
Yeah, it'd get interesting if we couldn't. So open filament, which is awesome. It's an almost fully enclosed build area. I don't know if that was because of the patents that are in the 3D printing market. But the only thing on the Maker, or the I keep calling it MakerBot, I am so sorry. The only thing on the Ultimaker that's open is the top where the head moves, but that would be super simple to enclose and make it something that...
And they do have that.
They do have
you can buy an acrylic laser cut bolted together piece that goes over the whole thing.
Okay.
And it has a filter on it so you can filter any fumes out.
If you're using like those high temp polymers with the bad additives or whatever.
Yeah, if you're using it, well, even if you're just using ABS, if you're in an enclosed space, it's good to use some type of filter.
Nice. So we love that feature. And then it's 2.85 diameter filament, which is something that we've always like worked with 175, and now
we make it for tests sometimes for customers, but we haven't had a printer that uses 2.8 filament. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, that's kind of those are the quick notes, quick specifications of this printer. So far, I love it. Love this printer. So yeah. Where else do you want to go?
I don't know. I didn't prepare for this at all.
Yes, you did.
No,
Kevin
I didn't
prepared
actually.
for this more than I did.
Yeah, setting up the camera, not actually figuring out what we were going to talk about.
He has a whole bullet points right in front of me.
No,
but okay.
I didn't write half those.
Oh. Somebody
Thanks
wrote
for the
them.
credit.
No, they're good ones.
Well, should we just go right into like talking about our experience with the machine?
Yeah, we do have these if we want to talk about the supports. We'll do that in a moment.
We'll do that. So first, let's say we already did like an unboxing video and then like a really long video of us using it the first time.
Did you have the wrench in that cut?
So, I don't know. It's like a 45-minute video. It's kind of long, but if you like watching a printer head move around for a long time, you'll love that video. So we got it, unboxed it. We actually used this included quick start guide.
We actually followed it. For the
Yeah.
most part.
No, actually we did.
I guess
But
the-
we were pretty excited. We kind of skipped a few steps here and there. But whatever. You know, it works.
Yeah.
So, I guess we'll just talk about our trouble kind of we had. There's not anything really, like, it's super user friendly. So we had Jeremy here use it for the first time
And
a
he's
couple
never
weeks
had
ago.
a
And
printer
he's
before.
never used a 3D printer.
Right.
He's never had to, like, slice a 3D model or use any type of
Or
3D
orientate
software.
it and
And I didn't even get this set up on the network. You did that in the video,
yeah, that was pretty simple.
and that was super simple.
Yeah.
And then also like reconnecting to it, Jeremy
Once it's shut off.
opened the
and-
program. The program found it on the network very quickly, very easily.
Cura, right?
Cura,
Yeah.
yep, using Cura. So yeah, it's really seamless, especially you can really appreciate it when you watch somebody that's never used a 3D printer before use the Cura software and connect
Well, this
to
is
their printer. Is that the live view now
Yeah.
from the
So this
it's
is-
the web camera that's right here.
Yeah, actually, I didn't know it had a webcam when we got it, and when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And so yeah, that's neat. Even their web interface is like connected well.
Yeah.
Like it's simple.
It's very seamless. Yeah, it was even better than I expected. I mean, we've been using Cura. We know how well that works for slicing.
Right.
And there's a lot of control you have over the way
All
the
the
G code is
settings.
written, which is really, really nice. But just getting it started up was really easy. So where was I? I was
Printing,
talking about
setting
Jeremy. So yeah, there were just a few little things that were not super obvious, and they weren't actually. I was looking. We can talk about loading the filament.
Yeah, can we
You-
see that in camera?
you
or should
have,
we move?
There's two extruder motors on the back that push the filament up through these tubes to I guess they call them
Print head?
Bodum tubes still.
Yeah, I guess
They,
that's the
they
style.
push them up to push the filament through those up into the extruder head. And there's a spool holder on the back, so we could spin it while it's printing. Probably not recommended. So you flip these little levers up.
You can actually lift that one up if you wanted to.
Yeah,
'Cause
I
it's
guess,
on
yeah. So you flip these little levers up, and then you push the filament up in there, and that's one of the steps on after you like plug the tubes in and plug
The
stuff in.
wires hooked up.
Yeah, that's the first steps on the quick start guide. And then you turn to the back and it's loading the filament. The first issue we ran into, it actually wasn't the first issue because we didn't do it wrong the first time, but if you push the filament like halfway up into the tube when you start it, and you go through the loading procedure inside
On the screen. Yeah.
it has a set length that it uses to push the filament up to the extruder to where it's going to melt.
Okay.
And what happens is if you've pushed it up here and you hit load, it just goes up the set length. It doesn't, from what I can tell, there isn't something that detects the filament in the extruder head. There's something that detects the spinning or
Like the
whether
flow.
the filament's moving or not in this, where the extruder is.
Okay.
But it will
haven't
push it
taken
up
it apart
there
yet.
and it goes pretty quick, so
Sounds like a jet engine.
it hits it sounds like a jet taking off. When it hits the extruder, it's pushing it too fast to actually extrude it out, and it slips on the filament and creates a little divot. Actually,
Yeah, we've all
that's the
seen
filament.
like if you 3D printed before and your extruder here is slipping and like eating away the filament, that's what's happening with the extruder.
Yeah.
So Kevin does have a section that happened to, or with.
So this was the black tuff. Yeah, whoops. And we had put it too far up into the tube to start, and then when we loaded the filament on the screen on the front, it pushed it up and then slipped on it. And we didn't actually notice it. We did this twice because we didn't actually notice it the first time.
It kind of fed through.
It
didn't
happened because it looks like it loads and then a little bit comes out the nozzle like it's supposed to. But then when you start printing, it just keeps slipping on that one spot. So, pretty minor because you're not wasting a bunch of filament. Like it it didn't cause the print to fail because the print didn't start.
Right.
So, but it just could have been like a note, and that's why I went back to check the quick start guide to see if they said that, like
how far
about how far to push it in, because just from us using 3D printers all the time,
Yeah.
typically you want to feed the filament as much as possible,
All the way
so
to
there's
the
no
head,
way,
right.
there's no way that it's gonna get stuck on anything.
That's
And that's the way it was with the
yeah.
MakerBot, right?
Well, yeah, the MakerBot, like, they only had a guide tube, and it was a direct, so the print head was on it.
So
But
you had to push it to the head.
Yeah,
So
you had to push it anyway.
anyway, it just was one little thing. What else did we have? Or what were you gonna say about that?
Well, let's continue with the filament, because the other thing that, the little piece that, like, this whole printer is awesome. The only thing I don't like about it is the filament being on the back. Like, we have this, if it was on a table like this where we could access the back easily and not spin
it's
the
not a
printer.
problem.
Right. But this thing is like, it's kind of heavy. I mean, it's okay to move it, but when it's on that table in the office, it's like you have to slide it, reach it around, and the table's only as wide as the printer. So that's a little interesting. We can definitely rig something up for the side, like mount them on the sides.
Yeah, it would be easy to do that. It's just, I think the assumption is that you're probably not going to be changing the filament that much, and it does make the look a lot cleaner, and it makes it fit nicer in a tight spot. But yeah, I would like to see the option to mount it on the side. I mean, it seems like it wouldn't be that hard. You just need some mounting holes in one of these panels.
Right.
And put one spool on one side and one on the other. That would be extremely convenient, and I can actually see that being a pretty easy modification we could do ourselves.
Yeah.
You just print something that holds the spools and tape it on the side there.
You have a printer that can do it.
The only thing you wouldn't have is the RFID tag,
true.
but you wouldn't use that for custom.
Yeah, we don't.
Anyway.
I don't really use the I don't.
That's a user-friendly thing. I mean, it did make it a lot easier
When
for
we loaded the
Jeremy,
filaments. Yeah.
someone who's never used a 3D printer before, to get it going, because the printer detects which filaments where on the holder, and when you load it, it prompts you like if you have the print heads matched up, and which the print head is numbered 1 and 2 for the 2 nozzles or the 2 extruders. So it's very easy to go into the program, see what's you
loaded.
have set for what, and
Yeah.
yeah.
How do you? You've always said you don't like touchscreens. Have you used this touchscreen enough to like be comfortable
It's fine.
with
Yeah,
it?
it's a good one.
Yeah, I
still
think
don't
they've
like
done a
touchscreens.
good.
They've done a really good job, and the main thing is the whole programming interface is like really decent, and I would expect that from them just based on how well Cura is set up. So
Let's see what our camera shot's gonna be. I'm waiting for like the delay to happen.
we don't have to have a delay. We have this.
Oh, nice. What else with the printer? I mean, the stuff we're talking about here for this printer is really minimal, and Ultimaker's done a good job of fixing that. And I mean, all their machines, I can assume, work to this level, right? And I feel like they've really focused and not added too many features that are like bloated hardware. I don't know if that's a word.
And that's why we've been following them, because I mean, they're really expensive. That's why
I mean,
that's why it took us so long to decide to buy one, because
right, like,
it's
is
a
it
lot
worth it?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not a lot compared to the super high-end ones.
Right.
It's quite a lot more affordable than those, say
But when
Stratasys
we're
or something. But
working on a printer bot, printer bots were
Yeah.
a tenth of the price.
Mhm.
But I like it. I'm really excited about this printer. I think that it's it feels like we can just walk in and print with this thing.
yeah,
I mean, we're gonna have belts kind of wearing
I mean, that's
out.
what you pay for. That's why it's got the great support and the design.
Yep. Okay, so I think we've covered kind of our points on the printer, and bring any up if you want to do that. But let's move to support material. So this is something like at Philibot, we've only really worked with one print head.
Single
head printer, and we haven't really played around with dual printing. And this was something that was new to us. This print here is a PVA and PLA printed.
That's what comes with the Ultimaker. It's their tough black PLA.
Yep.
And the natural PVA.
PVA, and their PVA is a dissolvable support material. It's it's nothing really new again, but they've done a great job to get it all worked in there. Like when this item was printing, actually, okay, so let's start with this. You print it. The part looks like this, right? It has the PVA around it, and internally the structures, and then the black is the part that we were printing. So that's what it looks like. And then when we go and dissolve it, this took, when did we put this in here? This was on Tuesday. Wednesday afternoon it kind of like finished.
And that was without us scraping it off. We just set it in there.
Right. Or
so
like,
if you were dealing with a really delicate part, that's what you would probably do, is just let it set. So we haven't even finished cleaning it up.
yeah, this is just like, you can see the little whiskers. But so this prints, and it's kind of hard to see, but this like arrow here was floating. This F was floating, and there's other parts in this print that were floating as the layers went through, and the Ultimaker slicer will go through and make sure that the the support structure is holding that section up. So that T there, and again that arrow was held up by the support structure and then printed around and held up to print. So that's really neat. Like that just really opens the different sort of prints you can make and what you can do with it.
And this is the fact that we're dealing with basically 100% humidity for the past almost a week and a half, 2 weeks.
It's been humid here. What are you saying is that?
So all these curlies.
Oh, okay.
That's because the filament's open in the back, and even though it's in a air-conditioned office, it's still extremely humid, and the PVA has just been in the bag with the desiccant, which is probably spent at this point anyway. And
we've opened it a few minutes.
Yeah, the fact that PVA is actually soluble in water means that it's going to collect a lot of water. So let me see that one again. But yeah, this is just out of the box. We didn't do any adjustments to the G-code, any customization to the G-code before we printed this.
We kind of just
Who did it? Did you?
Jeremy did. And
okay.
I don't know if he did this on purpose, but you can if you look at this, it's not perpendicular.
It's tilted, yeah.
And like all the prints.
So we printed this in like the worst position possible, and it still looks.
It looks good.
Pretty perfect. I mean, there's the little curlies hanging off the end, but that's humidity, and
We can cut
there's
those
really
off.
there's only a few little defects, like this little. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. If you look at the bottom of the A, there's like a little spike sticking down. I'm not sure why that's there because it's not in the model.
Isn't that the arrow?
Oh, is that part of the arrow?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? You know why that's there? Because of the way we've printed it in the past. So we do a lot of test printing with this model, and we're usually using some strange plastic, like some of the plastics that we've used in
Nalgene.
Nalgene or whatever. So we typically do those with a 0.75 nozzle. Because sometimes we don't use a melt filter. Sometimes there's other stuff in the plastic that's we're worried about clogging the nozzle, and we just want to get something printed. And if you slice it with a 0.75 nozzle, you're not actually going to get that little edge of the arrow.
I did not notice that.
On the bottom of the A there.
Yeah, it just wouldn't be high enough.
So it's pretty impressive that it's picked up on the detail like that. Yeah, I mean it's really impressive how well the just stock out of the box settings work for the dissolvable support material. And this may open up, other plastics too, because I'm not sure how strong this frame is. You can adjust the settings for it in the programming. It's starting to stick to the table. But you may be able to print with something that warps more and try to use the support material to just solidify it down.
Kind of hold it. Nice. We have some other prints. Did this tower. We haven't, we haven't done like a super fine print. This one's a smaller logo. Just another test print. Is this all we've printed? Oh no.
What?
Is this all we've printed?
I believe so.
We haven't printed that much.
I want to print my Game of Thrones chair.
Oh yes.
That would be a challenge.
Not with the support material.
Right.
It'd be super simple.
Exactly.
Woo!
It's more
So, yeah.
complex printing.
That is, with all the like swords. What else do we want to go over? We're happy with it so far. We're excited about it. I don't think we put it through its paces yet on a big print, but I
No.
think it's gonna handle it and be fine.
Yeah, we're really happy with it. We don't have much to criticize. We haven't tried any really soft filaments, so we don't know how well they're gonna perform in the tubes.
Like a
Other
Filaflex
other
or
people
a...
seems like other people have been using them with some success, and that's one of the benefits of having the 285 millimeter filament standard is that
You could
the
push it
flexible
easier.
ones usually are a little bit easier to work with when they're in a larger diameter filament. So,
Nice. Do we have any questions?
Some friendly chit chat, but no.
Nice.
we like friendly chit chat.
We do. So, time.
So, yeah, how long was that?
Half hour.
No way.
Yeah.
Holy crap. I guess we better wrap this up.
All right.
No.
Yeah, so definitely worth it, we think, if you have the
The capital
Cash.
for it. And
so
we'll
we're looking forward to getting a lot of years out of it.
and throwing some interesting filament through it. So until next time.
And breaking it, definitely. So we'll cover that when we do
Want to break
when
it.
we do eventually break it. We'll
Oh, when something wears down, we'll say, we could do a video on what broke down or what.
yeah.
Sweet. So, if you liked the video, let us know. If you didn't, let us know that as well. Let us know if you have any comments, questions, or concerns.
I think there's a more detailed
There is a blog post.
blog post that
Yep.
may just reiterate some of our points in a much quicker manner.
And that'll be up on our website at philibot.com. You can do that whole social thing. It's at Philibot. And we are live every Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you. Now do we do the banter? Or
Sure.
We've been bantering all the time.
Yeah.
You did 30 seconds, right?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that we don't cut the end off. It hasn't been doing that as much now with the new setup, but.
Busy.
All right.
All right.
Whoops. Well, hopefully that went well.
Oh, that went great. Did you like it?
Yeah, it was fine.
Oh, do you mean for the bandwidth?
I meant for the bandwidth. Yeah.
Oh. I think it did, because normally it doesn't